Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Frank Andrew Easton, as you've heard. I work for the HUK Coburg Insurance Company. I'm a system developer there and have been working for the company for almost 20 years. I am in the group that is responsible for our paperless office document and the archiving system. And I have been in this group for the majority of my time at the HUK. The HUK is an insurance company that was founded in 1933. We are a leading German insurance company with a comprehensive range of insurances. We are the largest public servant insurer in Germany, and we are also the largest motor vehicle insurer in Germany. And we have more than 10 million customers. We continue to grow at a rate higher than the insurance industry average, and we have been doing that for the last several years. We're talking about archives today, or we all deal with them. PDF-A is for archives. So what is an archive? To archive is to preserve and store materials, such as documents, or recordings, or today more than ever, computer files, so that they can be found and used when needed. Today's digital archives are no longer called archives. They were first renamed to imaging systems because we were taking pictures of things. Then we decided, oh, there's more than pictures, we need to call them content managers. So now they're more than content managers, we have all kinds of documents, so they're called document management systems. Ours is called the HUK Media Service. As the name suggests, the document management systems are helping us to manage our documents on a daily basis so that these documents will be instantly available to the users. In the early 1990s, our company wanted to take advantage of the advances in the computing industry, and they started a project to develop a paperless office product. We based that on a DMS product from a large computer well-known company, and this became known as our image system, front end and back end. A key prerequisite for this imaging system is that the caseworker would no longer receive paper to work with. They would have to work paperless. So the way you normally work with paper, you have to do markups and you highlight things and you underline things. So we looked for a system that would allow us to do that. They provided post-it notes or sticky electronic notes we could put on the document. We could highlight areas and we could mask areas on the document. These were only possible if we used the file format known as MODCA. And another not nice thing is these MODCA annotations were stored inline in the base document. That means anytime someone modified it, we'd have to rewrite the image back into the archive system, which as a developer, you might damage the file to where it's unreadable. That never happened to us, but it was a risk. But we had nothing better to do. We couldn't find a better product, so we decided we'd start with that one. Another important feature that we needed was what is called first page display. When we load a document into a viewer, as you can imagine, it has many pages. Without first page display, you have to wait until the entire document's there. This is something that's also known in PDF because all the things are spread throughout the PDF. That's what it looks like for a caseworker. The larger the document, the longer it takes, and that's intolerable for our users if that was the case. So we have what is called first page display, and as soon as the first page is present in the viewer, it can be presented to the user and they can continue to read and work in a short amount of time without much delay, and it doesn't matter how big the document is. Our average first page display time in the HUK is 0.7 seconds. And this includes our entire company, which is spread throughout Germany with several branch offices with a wide area network that doesn't necessarily have the widest bandwidth possible. So that is what makes it work for us, is that it is quickly displayed, that people can go to work and service our customers that are on the phone and don't have all day to wait. So with these key features, we said we would start with that. This viewer is, of course, not the only software our caseworkers use to handle the customers. This is just the document viewer. There's another application in the company that handles all the data that we need for the customers. So in 1997 is when we went into production with our health insurance branch. All of their incoming physical mail was scanned immediately and placed into our DMS system on the same day. The same day it was received and not later than 12 o'clock on the next working day. The caseworkers began working with the paperless office from the beginning and had to work with the digital versions. And if there was a problem looking at a document, they would ask for the document to be rescanned. And doing so, we have a complete and thorough verification process that everything that is in our archive is in fact present and is readable. Because if it is not, we couldn't service the customer. So that's much better than what a lot of companies have done, is to keep their workflow process the same and put their archive at the end where microfilm or paper archives were. Once we get done with it, we'll send it off down there, and some don't check later to see that it actually got into the archive. So our system has everything in it verified constantly that it's up to date. The added bonus of this system is that any caseworker at our company can service any customer at any time, and the documents are presented within seconds, not hours or days. And this boost in performance can be seen in the customer satisfaction surveys for our company, that we must be doing something right because it's working. The customers are happy and we're getting more customers all the time. Early in 1998, we added our faxing, the faxes for the health insurance department, we added into it with a fax server, storing them directly into the archive without human intervention so that the faxes were instantly available to the caseworkers. And this again increased customer satisfaction and customer response times. We were faster than everyone else. Around 2001, 2002, we needed to change the operating system for our client. And we've all seen what that's like. Microsoft wants everybody to change today to something else. So we decided to go with something that was operating system independent. So we looked around what was available. The viewer that our original company was offering us did not have a viewer that was to our satisfaction for this new operating system. So we took a look around and we found one that was written in Java, platform independent as it can be, and it provided all of the features that this other viewer provided to us. An important part being here, inline annotations, but we had an added bonus here that the new viewer did not store the annotations inside the base document anymore. So they were stored alongside in a separate object. The MODCA was no longer the requirement as the base document anymore, and we could annotate any format. So we started storing our scanned images as TIFFs directly into the archive system. We added JPEGs for where we needed color information that would then be blended over the TIFF pages. And the MODCAs we kept because we had millions of them, and the viewer would still be able to display the inline annotations. And if necessary, the annotations could all be hidden to where they would be unobstructed view of the document for the caseworker so that they can look at anything they need to do, and the company annotations they can remove, and the other ones, the inline annotations, we froze them in place. They were no longer able, they changed them so we would not have the danger of destroying the original documents. So, key features, inline annotations, external, internal, we have to be able to see them, and first page display. And we manage everything else around ourselves using the API for the viewer to manage the way we want it to be managed. From that humble start up there in the corner where we had a few scanners and a fax server in 1997, this is what our capture flow looks like today, as we call it. We have many, many channels of input, all flowing into our DMS from all different directions. That is all grown one step at a time. As I'm sure you guys know, it did not happen overnight. Nobody knew at the beginning it was going to look like this in the middle. I wouldn't call it the end. And this is what we call our capture flow system that we've built ourselves. Multiple channels going through, doing what needs to be done. So look at some of the numbers that we have here. This is the number of documents that we archive per year. This is the 4 major input channels that flow into the archive. Everything is increasing, continue to increasing. except for faxes, they're going down slowly. And part of that is due to our increase in customers that everything's going up. But what does that interest us here? This is what's interesting for PDF, PDFA. Analog, even though the mail is increasing, analog file form, or the incoming analogs, is dropping. Digital is increasing constantly. Nice shift. At some point, we'll probably be pure digital. But that's because the customer is sending it to us digital. So a trend cannot be denied. We have to use it. We have to follow it. We like it. We're digital anyway. Let's go for it. A lot of these digital documents are born digital documents. That means they were never analog. A lot of them are already PDF. And those that are not PDF, we want to convert to PDFAs. And the PDFs we want to convert to PDFA. So that we have no loss of content, no need for optical character recognition, and in the best case, it will look exactly like the original. This is how our system works today. All of our digital originals that we receive are stored into our DMS. Of those documents, the ones that we must display to the caseworker are converted to displayable versions. Today, we use multi-page TIFFs for the readability, and JPEGs where color is needed, where the color makes sense, pictures, mixture of text. The TIFFs are loaded first into the viewer, and then the JPEG, if needed, is loaded over the top. The caseworker can turn the color layer off to move it out of the way so they can look at the TIFF version. And our viewer also has scale to gray capabilities, to where if it is hard to read, they can adjust the contrast, whatever necessary, to make the documents viewable. With that technology, things have become visible in the documents that you never saw on paper, with the contrast changes there. So that's something also that caseworkers enjoy very much, an enhancement of the digital world. So you've now walked our walk. It took us 17 years to get here from there, and expanding. And now PDFA comes on the scene with lots of promises. And there's a lot of tools now available, so we said, let's take a look at that. Is the time ripe to harvest the benefits of PDFA? And how do we move forward with a long-time archive? Where do we want to be at the end, and when we integrate this or with this change, where do we want to be? And what can go wrong, if anything? Well, our plan is to continue to store our original digital documents that we receive directly into our DMS without modification, so that we have them for reference later or to reconversion if something goes wrong. The next step is to take the PDFs and convert them to PDFAs, so that we have all the information in how many ever years we need. Of course, stripping out the information that's not allowed in PDF. The born digital documents, convert them to PDFAs and store them in our archive, enriching them with XMP data all the time so that we know exactly where it came from, what it was doing. And then for PDFAs that we receive, we need to make sure, is it really a PDFA? Is it fully qualified? If not, well, if it is PDFA, then let's put a copy of it in the archive with enriched XMP data to know where it came from. And if it's not a PDFA, then to convert it to a PDFA and enrich it and put it in our archive. So, how are we going to get started? We decided to go through our inventory, so to say. Look, what we have to take a pool, create a pool of test documents that represent all of the different file formats that we have and the ones that we must convert to images, and then convert each one of those using one of the 4 converter programs that we selected for evaluation. All of the companies that provide these things are present here today, so I enjoy that. So we created this pool of images. We convert the images to the PDFs, and then we compare them optically to our versions that we have today, the TIFF and JPEGs. Do they look the same? Do we have a loss of quality? Can the caseworker still do today what they do tomorrow? Our end users shouldn't notice when we change anything technically on the system. We've accomplished that over the last 17 years, that whatever changes we did, that they had more capabilities than had before and no loss of functionality from what they had before. And it basically looks the same as what they've been working with for 17 years. We also validated the documents with the generators to see, are they what they claim to be? And are the validators working correctly? I mean, we software developers know if you might think you created what you thought you created, but was it really what you thought? So we wanted to check that out too. And then put it up in our viewer, see what it looks like. Is this what we expected? How long does it take to load the documents in the viewer? Can they load as fast as what we have today, or are they faster? These top points here are an ongoing process that has been done, is being repeated, will continue to be repeated, is very vital to us. And as things change and more formats come on board and other generators come out and customers throw all different kinds of documents at us, we'll have to check them, modify them, and make sure that our caseworkers can see it. And then, of course, we looked at what's the worst thing that can hit us? What users aren't doing today, but what they might come up with the idea tomorrow. So each converter has its strengths. We've tested their standard installation settings. We have now trying to fine-tune them to get the things that we want out of them, to see if we can get the smallest file size with the best image quality. So that's the point we're at right now, is trying to find that mix. We haven't made an end decision as to which one we're going to go with, or whether we'll take multiple ones for different tasks, because we're still in the middle of testing. We thought we would be done by now, but it's taking a little longer than we anticipated, which is, from talking to the other developers, that's normal. Most of them found out getting into PDFA, it's a little deeper than they thought. So, and there's a lot of capabilities that we have to take into consideration. We want all of the advantages of PDFA that it can offer, but it doesn't come overnight. We have to find the right pieces and put them together. So, our torture test documents. This is one document we put together, or similar to one we put together. And one of the converters that we had, that test document managed to jam up the converter so bad that deinstalling it and reinstalling it didn't fix the problem. So we sent the document to the company involved. They analyzed it, sent us a converted version back, and then a short time later, send us an updated version of the converter that could handle the document. All of our converters that we use today, or testing today, they can handle this document without a problem. So we always have to have close contact with our back-end systems and telling them, here's a problem I have today, and they look at it, because with PDF, as complex as it is, there's always going to be some difficulty showing up. Here is something that is a specialty of ours, annotations. We love annotations. We need to have annotations. A customer could create a document with these annotations. This was created with a PDF viewer program that anyone can get from the internet. So we added every single annotation type we could think of onto this document, and then decided to throw it at the converters and see what happens. We said convert it to a PDF A1, PDF A2, all the different converters, and we also started experimenting with the extraction of annotations. How can we get them out, or how put them back in? So that's our torture test for annotations. Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody reacts a little bit different. The next thing we needed to look for was the conclusive third-party independent validator. So that's a term that fell last time from Duff Johnson at the technical conference last year. He gave it the name, so I thought that was appropriate, so we'll use it here. We took one particular document and said, let's convert that through each of the converters to PDFA and see how it validates. That was okay, worked good. And we said, let's see what the other validators think of company A's PDFA, and then company B's, and so on, and so on. The result was, we don't have a conclusive third-party validator yet. I will not ever give up hope that we'll get one, but that's what it is now. Some people doubt that's possible due to the fact that PDF was not originally designed to be validated from the beginning. And PDFs may contain objects that are designed by third parties that are outside of Adobe's area of responsibility and control, and therefore not part of the specification. That's how the beast grew. It's the way it is. So a company who wants to have a complete and thorough validator would have to try to get that information from somewhere else, if it's even available to them, to validate it thoroughly. So we may never get to a complete validator, but we need to take it as far as we can get it. So that was one of our first surprises, that there is no conclusive validator. And not all validators are created equal. So you may have to mix and match, combine, ask for enhancements. Tell them what's wrong, tell them what you need. That's like what we do. As you may have noticed, that annotations are important to us. We were happy to see that the ISO specification covers annotations, but what do the actual implementations look like? What do they allow? What do they not allow? The PDFA viewers today follow the specification strictly, meaning that annotations are allowed in PDFA and must be displayed at all times, and that the document should look the same in the viewer as it would when it was printed. I understand the psychology of that, but we're a document archive system. We have to handle it a little bit differently. Our current viewer does not allow us to hide inline annotations based on that part of the standard, and this is something that has to be done differently in the future. Our business application viewer today can and should hide and allow the programmer to hide the annotations so that the caseworker has an unobstructed view of the original document. And the caseworker can turn them back on again whenever they need to see what was on there. And with our viewer application, when a caseworker displays a document, everything that we have in the archive that relates to this document is presented to them. It's fit to window, all annotations are visible, all color pages are visible, and the caseworker can turn off or filter down to what they need to see at any time. The company annotations, they can modify. Inline annotations, they cannot. They can at most hide them. And so that they have the readability of what is there, so that they can see what's underneath. They might be covering something up. Somebody might have covered something up on purpose. So if we can turn them off and take a look at them, then we know what's underneath. In the ISO specification for PDFA, the 19005, it states on page 12, section 6.5.1, note, this part of the ISO 19005 does not prescribe the specific behavior or technical implementation that interactive readers may use to implement this functional requirement. So ours is definitely an interactive reader. Our people must be able to hide these annotations and look at the document and turn them back on again. So there's your license there to say, I do not have to show them all the time. I can give you the option to say, go away for now. Another thing I'd like to cover here is linearization. Linearization is allowed in PDFA. It's also sometimes referred to as fast web view or allows fast web view. That's the same thing as first page display that I talked about in the beginning. Here again, quoted out of the ISO specification from section 6.1.9, linearization shall be permitted, but any linearization information supplied in a file should be ignored by a conforming reader. Key word for me here is should. We should do a lot of things. For example, you should only cross the street when the light is green. Do people do that? No, they cross whenever they want to. If they don't pay attention, they'll be killed, and then they're no longer a problem. So, but that was his choice. But we do care, and it did not say it must be ignored. It did not say it's forbidden to use. So if we go to the trouble to linearize our PDFs, then the viewer should most definitely respect that. It should use it. You can only be faster if you use it, and who doesn't want the faster viewer? Who doesn't want to be the faster viewer? Again, this is what happens when linearization is ignored. I play stupid and wait till I get to the end of the file before I do anything, even though I had all the information in the first 20 kilobytes, whatever. I had the information. I could have displayed it, but I wait till I get to the end, because it's the standard. And this is if you respect linearization. Same thing. That document can be 150 pages. Okay? The caseworker doesn't care. By the time he gets done reading page 1, we'll probably have the rest. Look familiar? First page display. I hope everybody likes that. I mean, we need that. This is a simplified block diagram of what our conversion process is going to look like. We're about halfway through the testing process, as I said before, testing the quality and the size of everything. And this is also assuming that the viewers allow us to hide inline annotations so we don't really have to change too much. And that would be quick, and we can start going into it immediately. If the viewers do not allow us to hide inline annotations, then we need some help from the converter community to allow us to externalize the annotations so that we can create PDF-A, PDF, and say, give me the annotations in an external file so that I can do with that what I want. And using that capability, we can also take a PDF and take the few annotation types that are currently not allowed in PDF-A, which includes audio and video. We can take them out, store them separately, and when we have methods or general methods to access that data, we can then start using those, or if we choose today to handle those independently, we can take those and use them ourselves, if the rest of the world hasn't caught up to us yet by then. And then we can handle that as necessary. Those needs stand today, and we just have to do with it. In order to do external inline annotations, we shouldn't do anything new. We should use what we know, like the forms data format from PDF-A, for PDF, from Adobe. This is the same format that is used inside the PDF for all of the annotations. So you don't have to learn anything new. Your viewer doesn't have to learn anything new. He should already know it. He has to know it in order to deal with this. The converter has to deal with it. So we need the ability to say, give me the annotations in another stream or in an external file, quickly, easily, where we can put it in the file system and bring it back in. So the viewers, everybody who builds a viewer, you should support external annotations. You might ask the questions how and when. My suggestion would be to use the FDF format, use the FDF extension, use the same file name as the PDF, and put it in the same location where the PDF is located. If you allow the user to do that, any user, even the home user, myself at home, I would love to have a PDF viewer that I can annotate the PDFs that I get today and not have it modify the original document. I want to store it next to it, my annotations. When I click on the viewer and if it sees the FDF file, I would like him to load them and manage them externally. If you can do that, you can give us an API and we can manage it the same way. So I see this as nothing new. It's using everything that's there. There might need to be some slight definitions on inside the FDF. The FDF is normally the file you click on, and it has a reference inside of it which file it's supposed to load. So that doesn't have to change. You could just put the same file name as you had there, but this is the right place to talk to all the developers. I'm trying to plant a seed here, and I hope it grows, and where the community can come together and say, okay, let's do that together so that everyone has more advantages, more things from PDF. So that you, yourself at home, your brother, your mother, whoever, can start working electronically without knowing it and doing the same thing they did on paper. The same thing our caseworkers had to do is make your notes on the paper electronically. And then we will take the digital world to the next step forward. So the converters need to allow us to externalize annotations whether the viewers hide the inline or not. Because we can then still handle some problems that we may not know today. We'll be prepared for the future. We can decide, put them in. We might go, once the viewer can handle inline annotations, we might say, good, put them back in again, because the viewer can guarantee they won't be modified. Because then I don't have to work with that. If one of our programmers makes a mistake and changes the objects because he can do anything he wants, then we might break those original annotations. We don't want to do that. And if the viewer doesn't allow that because he says, no, that was inline, you'd have to rewrite the object, and we don't allow that. That would be good. So, the validators, or maybe we should call them evaluators. PDF validators or evaluators need to help us check the conformance level of the PDFs we receive, and if it is what it claims to be, and if not, what exactly it is in one single step through an API, so that we can guide our capture flow system to take whatever the next step is based on that. So if Validator is too hard for everybody because they think they have to validate everything, let's go to an evaluator for the input stream, because we're going to get PDFs for everybody. We have 10 million customers. They're going to throw anything and everything at us that they can get their hands on. PDF, oh good, they can take that, boom. And then we have to say, is that what it claims to be? If not, we have to fix it to where it will work in our viewer, so we have the controlled, exact document that we can view. So, again, this is the right place to talk to everybody in the market. You guys can get together. I'd be happy to talk to anybody about the details about what we need to where we can get our capture flow working and start pumping the thousands of documents we get per day into our system in PDF format. Our experience with the developers is open and friendly and constructive. The problems we approach them with, they solve them quickly and get back to us, and we move on to the next step. We never expected everything to work from day one right off the bat, but we don't let that stop us. We have to keep moving on, and even if we're the first ones, everyone else will benefit later once they see what we're doing with it or what can be done with it. So now, back to where we started from. What lessons have we learned? The lessons we've learned from PDF is inline annotation support must improve. We must be able to hide and unhide inline annotations as we see fit. Converters need to externalize annotations, whether the viewers support hiding or not. We need to be able to do all kinds of combinations of, are they in the end document or not? Do I remove them entirely? Do I just give them to you externally? Whoops, excuse me. Too fast, sorry. The conversions of spreadsheets is still difficult or problematic. We understand the complexity of that. A suggestion that I will make is our viewer has zooming capabilities, and with PDF, being as we have the actual characters in there, we can scale and zoom almost infinitely. So instead of trying to reproduce what would have been on paper, because the paper is limited, take the whole table and just put it on one sheet. PDF too can have huge sheet sizes. So put it in there in one sheet, and then we can zoom it, or give us the option to say, how would you like it? We don't necessarily need to exactly reproduce the paper. Paper is limiting. Digital is unlimited. So let's take a spreadsheet and throw it as one simple table and zoom it. Let's move around on it. Also, the evaluators or evaluators, whatever we end up calling them, they need to help us handle the complexities of all the documents that are going to be thrown at us as a document receiver. I have no idea where these are coming from, and I need to find out as fast as possible, what is it, what can I do with it, which converter can handle him best. XMP enrichment must improve. Currently, we have to convert the document twice, because information that we want to be in the XMP data, we only know once the conversion process is completed. So when on the fly, XMP is okay to a certain point, but only after the entire document, which might be an email with several attachments that for us is one logical document, only at that time do we know how many pages we have, and then we have to go back to all the pages and documents and tell them in the XMP what the total pages are, which one are you. And so we need an API that only does the XMP enrichment and doesn't redo a conversion for speed purposes. So we can say, this is the additional information, or re-go over it, so now we know everything, please do that to it. And the viewer display times need to improve. We did some tests with our viewer because we can't wait till the end user screams in our face. We took the PDF documents that we converted into PDFA, and we took their TIFF equivalents, TIFF JPEG equivalents that we use in the viewer, and we put them up head to head in a test. And the PDF documents take 5 times as long to load into the viewer. I cannot determine if that's with linearization would speed that up or not, because the viewers don't respect linearization if it's a PDFA, because they say I'm following the standard and I don't have to recognize, or I should not recognize linearization. So that's another reason we must have respected linearization, whether it's PDF or PDFA, and then I can find out, is my viewer the same speed as I had before? Because we have up to 400,000 document display requests a day in our system. That will cost us too much if it takes us 5 times as long to get to the caseworker. We'll have to employ a whole lot more people just because we're waiting on the document. So, my conclusion, it's not against PDF. We do want PDF. And it's not much of a question, do we do it or not? The only question is, when? The when for us will be when these few missing pieces are that we have, when they are available, when we have tested them thoroughly in our test systems, which means we have to fully integrate them into our image system now, so we know what the future looks like. We will integrate into our capture flow test system as well. Then we'll know exactly what it will look like in production. Then we will start our production rollout. And we will take from those multiple channels we saw at the beginning, one at a time, and switch them to PDFA, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until we are total PDFA. That is our goal, to be total PDFA at some time in the future. Because then we only have one format to worry about. It's got all the options, many more options than we're using today, and we want all of those advantages. Full text search, the mixture of images and text, the scalability of the text. We want that today. We want that yesterday. We would have taken it 10 years ago, but it wasn't there. So we have that now, and in the future, and hopefully tomorrow. So thank you for your time.